Kirk trying to win it to Thielen, caught at the 5!
I got 3 words for you. You like that?
No!
Oh. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Skull Network. My name is Nick, and this is the recap between the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions. As most of you saw, the Minnesota Vikings just took out the Detroit Lions 34-20 in a very dominating fashion. I'm going to take a step to the side. Here's what we're going to be talking about today. Let's not waste any more time, let's get right in. Alright, obviously the main story of this game is Dalvin Cook continuing to absolutely cook defenses, 252 total yards and 2 more touchdowns, further cementing himself as the best running back in the league. I say that with 100% confidence. Christian McCaffrey is great, but he's missed too much time. He has produced a lot in the past, but Dalvin Cook is on a completely different level right now, and this feels more like the 2012 season when Adrian Peterson came back after the ACL, came within 9 yards of breaking the single season rushing record, and completely carried the team to the playoffs. I feel like if we make it to the playoffs this year, it will definitely be because of Dalvin Cook. And since we're on the topic of the offense right now, we're going to continue with the other most important part of the piece today, and that was Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins played his second consecutive very solid game with 108 passer rating. He went 13 for 20, so not the highest completion percentage, but 220 yards and 3 touchdowns with no interceptions. Was sacked once and didn't make any major mistakes. People still want to hate on him. People say Dalvin Cook is the key to this offense, which he is, and they say that the coaching staff is trying to keep it out of Kirk's hands. I don't think that's true. Kirk did plenty today, a couple touchdown throws to Irv Smith Jr., and things are really starting to click with all phases of this offense. It is looking really good, and I expect quite a few more wins here in the upcoming games, and I wouldn't be surprised if this team can make a run. And I really mean that. Before we get into the defense real quick, I want to talk about special teams because that was one of the weirdest games that I ever saw. If you guys remember a few years back when the Vikings were playing in TCF Bank Stadium against the Panthers on that frigid day, I was actually at that game, and that was the day that we blocked 2 punts, with Adam Thielen returning one of them for one of his first career touchdowns. It reminded me a lot of that game. Detroit has now blocked 3 separate punts in 2 weeks, which is amazing because it had been years since they had their last blocked punt. It made no sense. Luckily, it didn't change the outcome of the game basically at all, especially because of the interception that ensued after the first one, which we will get to in just a little bit. But I just don't understand what Detroit is doing. Their special teams coach must be some sort of mastermind that has some sort of trick that no one is able to stop right now, and that's about the only thing that Detroit had going for him in this game. And let's talk about this defense, because as we know, it was the Achilles heel of this team for the first few weeks of the season, and things are starting to look a lot better. A lot of the young guys are understanding their role in this defense now, and they are learning a lot more about playing in this league. Jeff Gladney had a very solid game, and guys like Chris Jones and Chris Boyd stepped up when needed to, didn't give up many major plays. Obviously, there was a couple of plays where Marvin Jones got his touchdown, etc. But overall, I really like what I saw from the younger guys today. Troy Dye didn't seem to make any major errors, but we got to talk about those 3 interceptions that were thrown to Eric Wilson, Eric Kendricks, and Harrison Smith. Obviously, the Eric Wilson and Eric Kendricks were very big because one was after that block punt, and I can't remember if Eric Kendricks, I'm pretty sure his was after the other block punt, and obviously Detroit was trying to drive into the end zone there and completely shut them down. Harrison Smith kind of got a little redemption with his interception after that, lowering his head to initiate contact penalty that was complete BS earlier. But you know, I completely digress. Harrison has been called for so many of those this year, and it just seems like they're throwing the flag just to throw it at this point, just to say that they threw flags. And we're going to end things off by talking about Matt Stafford real quick, because obviously there was the concern the whole week. He was put on the COVID list, was completely isolated from the team. The announcers couldn't stop talking about how he was remotely watching practice from his hotel room, yada, yada, yada. That was all they talked about for basically the first full quarter. But as we saw on the one sack, Matt Stafford took the thigh of, I believe it was Armon Watts, and it kind of messed him up a little bit. He's being evaluated for concussion right now. No current word, but if news breaks before I upload this video that Stafford is going to be out or is, like, you know, having a concussion or anything, and it could affect his status next week, I'll move over right here and I'll put it right here if there's an article for me to show. If not, I'm gonna look like an idiot, but that's fine because that's what this channel is all about, Nick looking like an idiot. But that's all I gotta say about this game. This has been 2 great games in a row. Kirk Cousins playing solid, Dalvin Cook cementing his complete legacy on this team. If he keeps playing like this, there is no knowing where he could go in terms of the all-time great. And that's gonna wrap things up. Minnesota 34 and Detroit 20. Thank you everybody for watching this video. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit the button down below to subscribe. If you enjoyed the content in this video, make sure you give the like button a hit. And if you want to share this video, go ahead. No one's gonna stop you. Give it to the crack dealer on the corner. You guys already know. My name is Nick. This has been Skull Network and the recap of the Minnesota Vikings versus the Detroit Lions. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday in NFL Week 10 picks. Adios.